Okay, it is Saturday, January the 20th. Wow, we're already almost through January, like two-thirds of the way through it anyway. Uh, it is 1:03 in the afternoon, and I've got another DC Multiverse figure to unbox. The fourth of four figures. Last but certainly not least, it is Batman. Batman himself from Batman and Robin, and also Mr. Freeze's legs. So we can go ahead and finish up building Mr. Freeze today. And I'll have a review of Mr. Freeze upcoming. So I'll probably do him on Monday. My plan is to do Mr. Freeze on Monday. So that will be that for those figures. I'm looking around, see if I can find my X-Acto knife. And I remember actually this time where I left it, because I was doing a little trimming of some stuff that I was printing out on my 3D printer. For whatever reason, been on a kick of printing out Sylvester Stallone action figure heads, which it just kind of looks like a fleshy blob on the camera right now. There, you can see him a little bit. You can tell that's Rocky and Rambo, and that is Sly from the Expendables. So gonna have some customs upcoming. So yeah, save Batman for last, not just because you saved the best for last, but because again, the assembly of the Mr. Freeze figure was the thing I was most concerned with. So we got an excellent likeness of George Clooney. We'll get a better look at that in a minute. He's got some more freezing parts. These ones are a little more accurate than the Robin parts. I'll get into those in a minute. So we see the standard Batman and Robin packaging. They gave Batman and Robin its own style of packaging, which is pretty nice, and I like pointing that out, especially because I'm usually pretty critical about how bland the Farlane DC Multiverse packaging is, and this isn't really that much more exciting, I guess, but it is cool that they did something a little different for it, and I'm hoping they'll do series like this for every Batman movie, and especially Batman Forever, I think would be really cool, because I would like to have Jim Carrey Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, and Robin in an actual Robin costume, not a Nightwing costume. Of course, it'd be really cool to have Batman Returns and Batman '89, which is my most watched Batman movie. But yeah, we can see here on the back where it has the collect to build Mr. Freeze, and you can see that this is the fourth part. This is the only part I'm actually building in order. Everything else was out of order, because I went 2, 3, 1, and then 4. 2, 3, 1, 4. So 4 is the only one that's actually in its proper place. We got the cross-cell artwork with all 4 of these, the same pictures that we see on the trading cards, and the big picture of Mr. Freeze, because he doesn't have his own trading card, I guess. It's kind of funny that Arnold was the marquee actor in this movie. He was the guy who got the top billing and everything, and he winds up being relegated to being the Build-A-Figure and not having his own action figure. So that's some irony right there. Let's go ahead and open it up, since we've already discussed this packaging on previous episodes. I've still got the big stack of packaging here. I'm probably going to keep those packages, since I actually think it's neat that they gave it its own package. All right, so we can get a better look at Batman now that he's out of the package. This cape is very soft and rubbery. It's a lot softer than the usual Batman capes are. In fact, it's softer than other capes in this series. Like Batgirl's cape feels a bit more firm. We might as well go ahead and pull all these over. And Robin's cape feels a little more firm, but not quite as firm as Batgirl's. So that's interesting, is that all three have different materials for the capes. How strange. And we might as well go ahead and get Poison Ivy over here too. So I've got all three of the other figures from this line set up on the desk in front of me. Let's go ahead and pull out these other parts. All right, so there's one of Mr. Freeze's legs. And here's Mr. Freeze's other leg. I didn't even bother with the X-Acto knife then. I just kind of yanked him out. So let's go ahead and put Mr. Freeze's legs on. And we're not going to talk too much about Mr. Freeze right now, so I'm going to save that for the upcoming video where I will be talking about Mr. Freeze. I feel like he deserves his own video. But there we go. That's, I'm going to put them together at least. Makes it lock in all the way. Make sure when you put these in that they lock in all the way. You got to push them in really firmly. And there we go. There is sneak preview of the assembled Mr. Freeze, which, like I said, I'll have the video coming up soon. But for now, I'm going to set him aside. I just want to kind of get his ankles where he can stand up on his own. Since Mr. Freeze does not have his own action figure stand, unfortunately. At least that would seem to be the case. I don't see an extra stand in the Batman package. And that's the last one. So since we don't have an extra action figure stand, sorry, Arnold, you don't get your own action figure stand. It will be really cool if they do a Danny DeVito Penguin, since they were in the movie Twins together. So I could have a Mr. Freeze Penguin team up. The long lost brothers reunited. Not even their own mother can tell them apart. Oh, these ankles are really stiff. I'm trying to get it. I just want to get it so he can stand up. That's all I'm trying to do. But they want to bend too far in one direction or the other. So, pinched my thumb. They ratchet, and they seem to want to just ratchet, just annoyingly seem to want to ratchet one direction too far in whichever direction. Just whichever way is going to get on my nerves, I guess. Oh, geez. All right, so let's go ahead and get out the other pieces. And they even put rubber tabs around the ice pieces. I don't even know why they bothered to do that. I hate rubber tabs. I hate them so much. It flames on the side of my face. All right, here we go. All right, so there's one of the ice pieces loose. And man, I can't even find, I know there's a rubber tab here. I can't even find where it is because it blends in with the icy texture of it. I'll just pull it out. Whatever. That's what she said. Okay, so he's got a rubber tab around his torso. So that seems like the easiest one to get. So I'll start with that one. And then one around each elbow. They find the most annoying spot in the elbow to put it. There we go. All right, so I got both of those. And then he's got one around each of his shins, just above the ankle. They're so annoying. There we go. I think that's all of them. I don't see one around his neck, so that's probably all of them. All right. So let's go ahead and get Batman out of the package. Now, his head is embedded in the bubble, and I don't want to put too much strain on his ears, so I'm going to start with the feet and pull them out that way. And then, of course, the cape is somehow squeezed through this hole that's like way too narrow. And hopefully it's not too scratched up. And there does seem to be a little residue from the packaging on the cape, but hopefully that'll clean up with a little bit of rubbing alcohol or something like that. And here is Batman out of the package. And he is a pretty impressive looking figure. Let's see if we can get into focus a little bit. There we go. All right, so excellent likeness of George Clooney. The ears do seem to be bent inwards a little bit from being in the packaging. I'm guessing that's from being in the packaging. Maybe if I hit it with the blow dryer, they'll straighten up a little bit. But I don't remember. I don't remember Clooney's Batman ears being that curved. And he does have the little clasps at the shoulders that Clooney's bat suit had to hold the capes on, but this one seems to be sticking up a little bit further than it should. So I'm hoping at some point, I know they did the sonar suit for Val Kilmer in that big fancy box set, and I'm hoping at some point they'll do a figure of Kilmer in the Panther suit, which is what this one was based on. And they could reuse a lot of these parts, but I don't think they could reuse all of the parts. And in fact, there's a surprising number of parts just looking at it that I think could not be reused just because of how they decided to execute this. Like, if they had done the emblem as a separate piece, and it looks like it's one solid piece with the torso, but if they'd done it as a separate piece, they could have just made a new mold for the emblem. If they had done the fins as separate pieces, they could have done just a separate piece for the fins, but that does seem to be one solid piece with the forearms. And of course, the shin guards would be different. So basically, everything that would be different on the Panther suit would be obviously for Kilmer. I mean, obviously the head would be different because you want a Val Kilmer head, not George Clooney. The emblem would be different because the emblem is got a little more texture to this version. On the Kilmer version, it was just a flat version, but a flat emblem, but this one has a raised portion where the body is, and some of the scalloping is on a different level, even though it doesn't make a lot of sense. Hi, Aunt June. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you were able to make it live. I know you like to make it live when you can. If you want to be cool like my Aunt June and make sure that you catch these when they go live, hit the little bell down there. Like, subscribe and hit the little bell and all that fun stuff. And that'll help you catch these when they're live. Like, there's a little bit of a line across the back of the cape, and it doesn't look to me like I think it's where the packaging was, and it does look like there's a little bit of a crease there, but it also looks like it got discolored somehow. This cape isn't as black as you might think it is. It's more of almost like a really dark charcoal gray. And in fact, the whole suit is black, which, if you see pictures of the suit oftentimes from this movie, it looks more like almost like a dark metallic blue, like it's got like a blue sheen to it. But the action figure does not have that at all. It's just plain black. So yeah, if they were to use parts of this to make a Kilmer bat suit, the Kilmer and the Panther suit, they would need a different head. They would need a different cape because of the cape clasps, since that's a separate piece. They would need or is it glued on? No, it'd be a separate, not the cape itself, but the cowl. The neck part of the cowl would be different. It would need a different upper part of the torso because of the emblem. So I'm pretty sure that's all one solid piece. The fins are all one solid piece with the gloves, so it would need new forearms. And it would need new shin pieces because that's, I'm pretty sure the bat emblems that are on there is a solid piece. And Kilmer's suit did not have that. And obviously it would need a different utility belt with, this one is such a plain utility belt. I don't understand why they designed the utility belt like this in the movie. It looks like that in the movie where there's like no cartridges or pouches or capsules or anything like that. People have always been critical about the original design for Batman's utility belt with the capsules and being like, how can he fit anything in those tiny little capsules? Well, this one doesn't even have tiny little capsules. So I don't know how he fits anything in that utility belt at all. Even his Bat credit card. Like, there's barely any room for that. All right. So the sculpting is really good. Very accurate to the suit in the movie. If I get it posed exactly right at the torso, it looks just like in the movie. It was a little off the way I had it, but you can see that it's got those very highly stylized abs, like the movie bat suits have from that era. So arms are, again, pretty accurate to how it was done in the movie, and the boots and everything. Like nice detailing with the bat symbols on the boots and the belt and everything. Like is everything looks really sharp and detailed, and it looks just like in the movie. That's pretty cool. So sculpting wise, definitely gets an A+ for me. Paint wise, I'd say A-, just because I would like it to have that kind of metallic blue sheen like the suit had in the movie. It's the basic black is cool. Batman always looks cool in black, but I think if it had that metallic sheen, that would make it just a little more accurate to what Clooney's suit looked like in the movie. And you know, Batgirl and Robin as well. I think they both could stand to have a little bit of that metallic sheen. I got so excited about talking about the figure, I forgot all about the stand and the accessory, the trading card. So let's go ahead and pull that out, and go ahead and pull out the stand and the trading card. And again, like all the other figures in this set, the stand and the trading card are on two separate bubbles, which I always prefer when McFarlane puts those both on the same bubble because it makes it easier for me to take out the trading card. And every figure should come with an action figure stand. Here's the one that this figure comes with. And it's the standard McFarlane DC Multiverse action figure stand, matte black with a glossy black DC logo on it. So let's go ahead and place Batman on the stand. So that way he can stand up more easily. There we go. It's on the stand. Pretty cool. And we're going to take him off the stand in a little bit, but I'm just setting him aside for now. Because we're going to go over the articulation. Don't think I'm forgetting to go over the articulation. I mean, I do that a lot, but not this time. All right, so there is the card with George Clooney as Batman looking slightly embarrassed because he's in the movie Batman and Robin. But it could be worse. You could be in the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. But that would make it better because George Clooney would at least be a better Batman than Robert Pattinson. But only so much you can do with that script. All right, so the back, pretty much the same text as the other trading cards in this set because they got really lazy and didn't write individual bios for the characters. The only real difference is it says Batman, Batman and Robin, and real name Bruce Wayne. That's the only real differences. So also, as I like to point out, this is all from the same poster. So we can see a little bit of Poison Ivy's hair. And if I can pull her out, get the Poison Ivy card out. You see a little bit of Batman's chin on there. So we can, you see what I'm talking about? How they kind of layer together like that. See how they kind of fit together? Yep. Okay. All right. So there are all the Batman and Robin trading cards. Mr. Freeze, unfortunately, does not have his own trading card. Sorry, Arnold. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that back together. Get that all. Get that back in there. There we go. It doesn't want to seem to go in all the way. It's kind of catching on the lip of the top of the box. Yeah, we'll figure that out later. I don't know why it's doing that with this one. It didn't do that with the other ones. All right, there we go. I got it. Okay, so we'll probably put those into storage or something later. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the articulation on Batman and go over that. So let's see. Kind of tilts his head quizzically. There we go. That's a good approximation of George Clooney's acting performance in the movie. Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. Like that. So just tended to move his neck around a lot. So, in fact, I wish they had him, even though it would have interrupted the sculpt some, put the extra articulation at the bottom of the neck so he could just get the full Clooney head bobbing motion to it. So yeah, you want your George Clooney Batman to have excellent head articulation like this. So he looks down about that far, looks up about that far. So that's some good range of motion on the head as far as looking up and down. Tilt his head quizzically to either side. That works out pretty well. And of course, it rotates all the way around, which if you rotate your head all the way around, you're probably going to want to go see a doctor because you probably broke your neck. So I wouldn't recommend trying that yourself. The arms rest down at the sides pretty darn well. They move up about that far, so not all the way, but a decent amount. So Clooney once made a joke when a reporter asked him like if he did his own stunts in the bat suit and what would have been the most dangerous stunt that he did, and I think he said that he was able to raise his arm in the bat suit, so he can raise his arm because his arms in fact do rotate all the way around. There is a bicep cut, so it rotates at the bicep, but it does seem like it's a little tight on mine. So I don't know if it goes all the way around or not. He is a pretty cool Batman. I like this figure so far. I'm pretty happy with it. Got a good range of motion at the elbows. I don't think quite as good as Robin, but he is an acrobat, so so there we go. There's that. That's actually a pretty cool little pose, like almost like he's getting ready to box or something. So and then he's got the standard McFarlane wrist articulation, so you can move his wrist any which way. Pretty cool. This Batman does have solid fists and doesn't include any extra hands, but he doesn't have any accessories that he can actually hold. So I guess you could do worse. And then he's got the butterfly joints, so you can bend his shoulders back about so far and bend them forward about so far. And that, of course, helps get him into some cool poses if you need to get him into some cool poses. He certainly is better articulated than Clooney himself was in the bat suit. All right. And also, George Clooney, not a lot of people know this, is when he was shooting this movie, during his break, he was shooting ER and Batman at the same time, which they're both on the Warner lot. So pretty, not quite as difficult to do that as you might think. And in between, he would play basketball with Dean Cain while Dean Cain was shooting Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. And apparently he injured his knee while he was playing basketball. and so a lot of the shots is when he's actually injured. So he's wearing a cast or something, or a brace or whatever he had to wear. So yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, going back to the articulation, he does have as I pointed out earlier, the cool McFarlane torso articulation. So we can bend his torso whichever way you want to. We should be able to get him in some really cool poses, I think. Legs go up about that far. They are slightly hindered by the rubber trunk piece that is standard on McFarlane figures, but not too much. And it's a very soft rubber that they used on that. I think it's the same rubber they used on the cape. So, and then, of course, got the double jointed knees. His knees are nowhere near as stiff as Robin's, which Robin should not have stiff knees. He's a young man, and he's an acrobat. 40-year-old Chris O'Donnell playing Robin. as they say on the what's the name of that? It's one of the channels I like superhero stuff you should know. You should check that out. Even though they like the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, but nobody's perfect. So, so yeah, good range of motion on the knees. So that's good. And then, of course, you got the cool McFarlane ankles. So they rotate all the way around. Ankle bends down about that far. Ankle bends up about that far. And, of course, they rotate from side to side all the way around. So you can get those ankles into pretty much any kind of pose you want to. Unfortunately, neither him nor Robin come with ice skates that pop out when they click their heels together. So shame on you for neglecting that, McFarlane. That's like even if you wanted to have ice skates pop out of Batman's boots, you could do something a little more Batmanish, like press a button on his belt or something. But no, he clicks his heels together like Dorothy. It's they were trying to make that movie ridiculous. Ah, geez. So yeah, and then the accessories that he does come with: no batarangs, no grappling hook launchers, and you couldn't hold him even if you wanted to because it's just got solid fists. But he's got these icy bits so that Mr. Freeze can freeze him to the wall of the rocket ship that they're on. You're mad, Freeze. This rocket will blow up, killing thousands. So it's a little difficult to get this one on because it's you can see that the icicles wrap all the way around, whereas the other one they just kind of cover the front of it, but this one they go all the way around. So I'm having to actually insert his fist into the thing like that, but he keeps getting caught on the icicles. But yeah, there he is with the frozen hands. So you can. It would probably make more sense if they were facing towards the front, because that was how he was actually frozen to the rocket. And you can't really rotate the ice pieces because the fins get in the way. So they're just kind of like that, But really, that's the pose he should be in and should be frozen against the wall like that. So, oh well, it's still nice that they gave you some frozen pieces to put on his hands. So yeah, she loves me and not you, and it's driving you nuts. She's trying to kill you, dick. George Clooney was saying that with a lowercase d. He wasn't saying that because it's short for Richard. We'll put it that way. So yeah, I got with Poison Ivy there. He's gonna give her his back credit card. You know what I mean? Why is it all the hot ones are homicidal maniacs? Yeah, I can feel that, Batman. So yeah, but yeah, there's Batman and Robin together. That's what they look like together. Robin's a little bit the same height as Batman, not quite, but he's Robin was a grown ass man in those movies. He wasn't like the boy wonder. He was the young adult wonder, I guess. And there he is with Batgirl. This is not the Killing Joke animated movie, so we don't have to worry about him getting with her on a rooftop. It's a different character anyway, pretty much. So there's that. And maybe he can talk Mr. Freeze into giving him the cure for McGregor syndrome stage 1 so he can save Alfred's life. So, yeah. George Clooney, I think, had the potential. He could have been the best Batman, honestly. If he'd have been in a better movie than this, then yeah, I think he probably could have actually been a really great Batman. Unfortunately, the Batman movie he was in is Batman and Robin, and he's had a self-deprecating sense of humor about it ever since. So but I don't think he's the worst Batman, at least not anymore. He would have been the worst Batman before Robert Pattinson, certainly, but I mean, he was still about as good of a Batman as you could expect him to be in that movie, I suppose. So I'm happy to have this action figure of Clooney. I really do think he looks the part of Batman more than any other actor, at least until Ben Affleck came along. Ben Affleck being like pretty much exactly what Bruce Wayne looked like on Batman the Animated Series. But Clooney was good. I liked Clooney. I mean, like, even though he wasn't even though he was the worst Batman, I still kind of liked his Batman. So I do wish that he'd have tried to put maybe like a little more rasp onto the voice when he was in the suit, but he just kind of still just had his George Clooney voice. Like a lot of people are critical of Christian Bale's Batman voice because it's so gravelly, and I think that's the thing is like you don't really want to go gravelly when you're Batman so much as you want to go whispery. That's what Kevin Conroy did. That's what Michael Keaton did, and that's what Val Kilmer did. I think that's the way to go. It's kind of hard to tell what Ben Affleck did because he had the kind of flanger on his voice, and then just Robert Pattinson just sounded like a whiny wuss all the time. So, so I guess just doing your regular George Clooney voice all the time, you could do worse. It's like, man, this guy must really hate that Robert Pattinson movie if he's like, comparing Batman and Robin to it in a positive light. He's doing a video where he's talking about figures from the Batman and Robin movie, and he's still talking about how much the Robert Pattinson Batman movie sucked. It was so bad. They should be so embarrassed. We all owe Joel Schumacher an apology. Remember how Joel Schumacher apologized for Batman and Robin? Well, you're forgiven, Joel. And in fact, I'm sorry I was so hard on your movie. I didn't know what a bad Batman movie really could be until the past few years. So I wish you were back and you were making Batman movies instead. So that's pretty much it for this episode. We've still got one more figure to go over, like I said, because we will be talking about Mr. Freeze in his own episode. So don't miss that. If you enjoyed this video and you want to make sure you catch the Mr. Freeze video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these figures. I'm really happy that these figures got made. I'm really excited to have them in my collection. I'm hoping that McFarlane will do more movie Batman figures. I really want figures for Batman 89 and Batman Returns and Batman Forever. I would love to have those. They did that whole assortment of Dark Knight figures, but I was never able to get those. The Christopher Nolan Batman movie figures, I was never able to get those. They just were pretty much sold out of Amazon like instantly, even when I went to pre-order them. So, but maybe I'll try to get them one day. Maybe when I have a little more money. I don't know. But anyway, we will talk to you next time. Bye.